for measure, you have 3 electrical pre-checks. Again, at the beginning of every shift, you have to go through whatever I'm telling you now. So for measure, you're gonna have 3 pre-checks. These are for measure. In the title of the presentation, measure equipment pre-checks. This is for the class slides. This is not the official reference. That's why me and Neil are putting measure in our presentation. In the field, they always tell you to measure. No one is going to tell you, well, perform the insulation resistance test. But you have to know the official name for that. And that's going to be one of the questions in the quiz. What is measure called? So we're going to run 3 electrical pre-checks. One is open leads. So the leads are completely isolated, disconnected. So when you have 2 leads not touching each other, what's your expected test result? The maximum, right? Whatever it's OL, if you have the multimeter. If you have the measure, tell me what you see on the screen. The highest possible value. If your leads are connected, short, 2 leads, black and red are connected, you run the test. You're expected to read what?
Low.
Short, right? The minimum readings that you see on, it depends on the test instrument. The minimum it can measure, below limit. You tell me what you see on the test instrument. And the last one is going to be testing against the known resistance. And that's what we have here. This one is 10 mega ohms. Again, capital M is mega, small m is milli. So that's sometimes, you have to pay attention to these details. It says plus minus 15%. So if you are not right on the dot, 10 mega ohm, that's fine. Plus minus 15% is allowed, and you see that on the scale. So for the first test, just have the leads open. For the second test, short them out. For the last test, use this one. I'm going to give it to one of you, but then share it together, okay? I have only one of these known resistive values. Now, before you run the test, there are a couple of safety notes. When you run measure, before we start, one other thing I wanted to ask you. Lots of things rushing through my mind. I try not to miss anything. Some sessions I go back home. I want to go to sleep and say, shoot, I forgot. But the good thing, I always see you next week. We talked about the Ohm's law. We said we want to measure the resistive value, the voltage. I don't know what's the voltage. You have to look it up from table 100.1. You tell the machine how much voltage to apply. Internally, it measures the current, and then the ratio is going to be the resistance on the screen. But how long am I supposed to run the test?
1 minute.
How do you know that? 60 seconds, 1 minute. It's mentioned in NIDA MTS. Perfect. We go back to section 7.6.1.1, molded case circuit breaker. And electrical test. This is measure. Item number 2. Perform insulation resistance, aka measure, for 1 minute. So this is according to standard. You can do it for 2 minutes, you can do it for 30 seconds. I'm not going to make any comment on that. My responsibility is to show you the right way. 1 minute. So you're going to run it for 1 minute. If you have the timer, for all of these we do have the timer. You can set it to 1 minute. If you don't set the timer to stop the test, it's gonna run indefinitely until you turn it off yourself. So either set the timer or look at the timer on the screen and read the readings at 1 minute mark. But I guess we have plenty of time to figure out how to set the timer. And I'm gonna help you out, okay? So I'm gonna walk around and help you out. So run the test, and what we're gonna be doing for the rest of the session is gonna be the pre-checks. So for the pre-checks, this is the visual. The leads are isolated. That's the open. This is short. The second pre-check and the last electrical pre-check is against the known resistance value. Questions?
Where should we have our voltage at?
So let's use. It depends on the equipment that you're testing.
I know, but
Right? Oh, the breaker?
Yeah. So let's use this as a reference. If you are testing this breaker, follow the reference voltage for this one. If you are even for testing, yes sir. If you are testing a high voltage breaker, follow the reference voltage for that one. So for the purpose of pre-checks, use this molded case breaker, 600 volt. Now, before you run the test, let me check your setup. When you start the test, it's gonna push the live voltage, 1000 volt DC. That's a lot of voltage. I've been zapped with that. It's not fun. So when you start the test, make sure you stay clear. Make sure you don't touch the black or red lead. And when you run the test, when I say stay clear, just a few inches is fine. I mean, you don't have to stay away 20 feet away. But when you run the test, say it loud. Testing this way, you are letting the people around you that they are exposed to the live voltage. No one is supposed to touch it. So say it loud, testing, because another person may not know when you start running the test. So when you say it loud, they're gonna become conscious about what's going on. They're not gonna touch anything until you finish the test. Okay? So let the people around you know that you are running the live voltage. And I'm gonna check your setup right before you run the test and work on that 1 minute timer as well. All right, no more question? Clear?
Yes.
So you know what we are doing and you know why we are doing it, right? All of you master of media right now. Yes. And make sure you have your safety glasses, please.
Yeah.
Testing.